Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody out there is having a good day. Hope everybody's got their milk and bread ready for Snowmageddon.
I don't even want
Fixing
to think about that.
Fixing to be a little chilly for a few days. But we can survive. I think everybody will be all right. If anybody needs anything, holler.
David won't mind getting out.
Maybe.
Me, absolutely not.
Depending on how frozen the tires are to the ground. But
I'm hibernating.
we got Cody Richey in here tonight, and he's going to talk a little bit about running for school board. And how are you, sir?
Doing well.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Yeah.
So I think most folks probably know you
Yeah.
to some degree.
Yeah. You know, there's...
But for the folks that may not,
yeah.
go ahead and get introduced.
Yeah,
yourself.
so I'm Cody Richey. I was born and raised here, 38 years worth. Went to school at Westside. Went to college at Arkansas Tech. Got my master's degree in teaching. Come back and spent some time teaching at Westside. Started a business
that's right.
here.
I forgot about you teaching.
Yep. Taught and coached for 4 years-ish, a little bit, something like that.
What subject was it that you...
Mainly history.
Okay.
So I have a bachelor in history.
Am I crazy, or does it just seem like when somebody's a coach and a teacher, history's kind of the one that...
That's usually how it is. It's either that or like science.
Yeah.
That's a big one that everybody does.
Or
and
health.
Well, right. And what's bad is I know you're like, oh, it's a history teacher, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so,
well, that and English are
Yes.
the two classes, honest to goodness, all through school that I've like.
yeah.
These are all right.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
Yeah. It's that math thing gets me,
Yeah, I'm not a math and science
my
guy.
reading comprehension.
I want no
in
part of
English.
any of
Oh
it.
man, I'm doing great there, but you don't want me doing any advanced math.
You want to know about context clues?
Yeah,
bring me a
it's-
page and we can figure it out.
The
But
X,
algebra,
Y, and Z's get me.
Yes.
If like
2
I don't
plus
understand
2
these.
is
are we doing the
4.
alphabet or saying
Yeah.
numbers? You got to pick one.
Yeah. But ended up opening a restaurant here also for a couple years, and did really well. And honestly, wish I still had it. But opened the restaurant did some things for me. I was there for when I stopped teaching, I was in a bunch of debt, and I wanted to figure out how to get out of it. And I'm like, for some reason, starting a restaurant seemed like a great idea, and it did. It paid off. It paid off a lot of my debt. And as soon as I paid off that last big payment, I threw my hands up in the air and walked away from it. And I didn't realize how good I was doing, and then how much I was going to miss the community and the support that I had here. And my plan was always to open up another one, but I thought I wanted a bigger one. Well, I ended up going to Fairfield Bay to a bigger restaurant to manage it for them while I was in between restaurants, and I realized I do not want a big restaurant. I want a small one.
Yeah.
It's
Easier to
yes.
control.
Oh man, it's. I think what I had was probably perfect, and I just didn't realize it. But when I hope to. I hope to do something again one day. I just don't know when. But
I think that's kind of true in all aspects of life, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I mean, we all want to be bigger, brighter,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Well, you keep, and then when you get older, you think, I just need to be smaller and simpler. It's simplify life, and you'll be a lot happier.
For sure.
Yeah. Just like living here, we like our slow
Yes,
pace.
we really do. Yeah, I've lived a lot of other places, and when I met my wife, I told the first conversation that we had was, I'm going to live in Grish Ferry the rest of my life. So if that's not okay with you, then you need to move on.
We need to make this known now.
Yeah, because I love it here. I've went other places, and there's just no place like this place, and we take it for granted sometimes.
That's one of those moments where when the Bible talks about being unequally yoked.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments. I mean, are we going to disagree on how to raise our kids? Are we going to disagree on this? Are we going to disagree?
Yep.
But
So
so now back to the school.
I know. Yeah.
sorry.
I told you we squirrel and
Yeah,
we'll talk about.
It's a live show. We just do it how we do it.
And that's what makes this a little easier, having just conversation.
And that's the way I try to explain it to folks. I mean, it's no different than Say we were on somebody's back porch,
Yeah.
and had a fire pit going or whatever.
We just have a topic to talk about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean,
As long as we cover that topic,
Yeah,
whatever else
well,
comes
I mean,
along
even
with
on the
it.
back porch or around the fire pit, I mean, we're still going to have topics to talk about.
Right.
It may be multiples in
Yes.
those situations. To where
That's-
here we
that
try to
seems
narrow
like
it
how
down to
that goes,
one.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Chasing rabbits
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
dude, jump off in the squirrel hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the main reason why I wanted to run for school board is it's got so many different layers, because it all started off with being in a room with a bunch of former teachers that I taught with for those years, and that we all have really good relationships with, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about, because when you think about a school, you just think about the kids, but what I saw was a bunch of teachers that needed support. And so it got brought up. I said, why don't you run for school board? And I'm like, I don't need to do that. I don't think, you have to just make time to do anything that's worth doing. Mm-hmm. And I was so busy, and I'm like, I just don't think I can. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, I went home and I looked at my little 4-year-old princess and I said, she's
4.
Yeah.
Goodness
She's getting really
gracious,
close
dude.
to, I know, she's getting really close
Wow.
to going to school, and I want her to go to a school like what I had, and I know there's been some great strides there, and there for a while I felt like we would probably homeschool her for a while, because we thought that, that it's this world we live in now, when you have a kid, your mindset changes, and the little things, you're like, I want her to be better than what I was, and
sure.
But what I'm starting to see, and there's some fresh faces and fresh thinking especially in the elementary side, that I think is going to do great things. And so it makes me like, all right, I want to be able to have Emory go to school there just like I did, and have the experience that I did, and because I felt like we had a great school, and so the more I thought about it, I got to talking to them again, and I said, I guess that I'll do it. And then, so I know that's really exciting, but it's a big step, because I know a lot of school board members that have been through and stepped down over the years that would tell you, what are you doing? Yeah. It's like it's a miserable, thankless job, and to be honest, it goes back to my first year of teaching. I had a great group of kids, not just teaching, but when I was coaching. And something that a lot of people don't know is I was saved that first year at Westside by pretty much 14 or 15 teenage girls. So this is something I love to share. Mm-hmm. Is that the first time I met them, all I got was, where do you go to church, Coach? And I'm like, well, I don't really have a home church. I've been looking, which I wasn't really at the time. Right. I'd been in and out of church just like we all have through our years, around here. And so I just went, we kept going along, and they kept, they were really big into having their own time of, Bible study and things like that. And they invited me to a community church service that all the churches around got together, and there's probably 300 people over 6 or 7 churches that were at the school. And so they invited me, and I went and sat on the very top row. I was ready to go hit the door.
Back yeah.
And towards the end, they're doing an invitation, and I looked down on all those girls that I was coaching, and it's just something in my mind says, how can you lead them when you can't let me lead you? And I didn't even, I was standing up and walking down the stairs in front of 300 people and to be saved.
Awesome.
And I give total credit to them and to some people that I didn't know that were praying for me at the time,
Right.
But I give total credit to those girls, because it's such and it changed everything for me too.
This is going to turn into a service.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why the Bible also says, "Come to me as a child."
And that, and
They
I'm
humble
trying
you.
to do a better job of sharing my faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because, like you said, I think it's something that we're meant to do, and but it's also very hard. It's hard to just have that conversation with people.
Well, it's lacking.
Yeah,
It's lacking
yeah,
at any school, at any community.
yeah.
Well, I was going to say
lacking.
it's not just in schools or anything
Yeah.
else anymore. I mean, sadly, the world we live in is it's just getting really hard. And as a born again believer, I hate to say it's getting hard to express that.
I think that,
But-
over the last, I would say over the last 5 years or so, I've started to see small changes that is letting God back into the school.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to see kids take up more of a more responsibility to share and lead. And even though schools have a mandate not to, they say to separate, church and state, which that's a whole other
Whole
conversation.
other conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does not
Then
mean
we
what
will
most
get
people
real
want to
deep.
say it means.
But you've got a governor that I think is more open to letting God back in school, and so you have some people that are for and against that, and honestly for and against her, and with all of the stuff that's going on.
She's just like anybody else. There's
Yeah,
pros and cons. There's
there
things that
is.
she does I don't like.
But I think it gives us an opportunity to have our community values go back into the school, and that's one reason, and a good reason for being a part of conversations about that.
So basically, to kind of put it in a nutshell, your reasoning for running is, for one, to try to give Emory the school environment and atmosphere that you had,
Yeah.
and be the voice for the students, for the kids and the teachers.
Yes. I think because I think that you have to start with the educators first, because they're the ones that are teaching our kids.
Right.
And if they don't have the support to do their jobs, then they're going to do it poorly.
I mean, this is what I'm fixing to say is probably going to aggravate some people, ruffle some feathers, and I don't intend. That's not my intentions.
Yeah.
But we hear all the time, my kids are the most important thing. My kids are the most important thing. And while that sounds good, and there's, depending on the context, I can agree with that. But let's be fair. If they depended on themselves to feed themselves, have a roof over their head, y'all would all starve to death.
They would be in a tough shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe there is somebody a little more important.
The teachers at school spend more time with your kids than you do. They're a huge part of how you grow. And I bet both of you can go back to a teacher that affected your life in some way.
Oh yeah, Miss Janine Wood.
Yep.
English teacher.
See, we've all, and what's awesome about Westside is we had so many. There's even some still there. Miss Peggy's still hanging around.
Yes, she is.
Yes, and probably just as ornery as she ever was, But she's done a great job for all these years. Miss Debbie is still there. It's like there's a lot of legacy that's there, but there's a lot of new faces that are there, and a lot of people don't think about. So as a educator, I think they have 8 different class periods now, and you have one period. This is for the high school. You have one period to prep for 7 different classes. How do you think that goes?
Right.
So you have to either take it home. You have to get there before. So teachers put in so much work, and it's with anything that you do. There's a burnout spot somewhere where you have no time to do things, so your education that you're trying to give kids start to lack. And so there's all kinds of opportunity to do different things that this is something that I've not looked into, like if it works well. I know that you have to have the right teachers to do it, but block scheduling would give teachers more time to prep for classes. You see kids less a week, but you see them longer. So you turn, like, say 9th through 12th grade. You do block scheduling to prepare them for college because that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be in an hour and 20-minute class. They're going to see them 3 times a week. And that's your education in college, you know? So you take that but you give teachers 2 hours of prep time a day instead of 1, but they see the kids less a week. That's just one thing that comes to my head. I know that I talked to a superintendent about it the other day, and she said it's good if you have the teachers that can hold the kids accountable for that long, because that's what they've done is they've shortened all the periods, because kids are hard to keep.
Well, I mean, it's not just kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all of us.
even us old folks with these dang phones in our hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes me I have to be doing 3 different things at once to hold my attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one that does
No,
that,
you're not. It's just,
No, you're not.
it's sad.
Yeah. But, so going back, so that was my main reason is, I pretty much have a family at Westside that I want to just make sure that are supported. And that's not to just say they don't do anything wrong, you know. So I just want to give them the opportunity to be the best teacher that they can, and that may mean that they need more time. They may need more support of some kind. They may need they need a firm hand to keep them doing what they're supposed to be doing, because we're all that way about. We can get lazy in what we do if we don't have somebody. If we don't have somebody,
you get comfortable.
Yes,
complicit.
But you don't have to. You don't have to be. There's a way to do it, and this is what I've tried to tell people is that there's a way to talk to people to get them to do what you need them to do without talking down to them, or just letting it go. You know, or just saying. We're just going to move on from that. You can be a firm hand and be helpful instead of talking down to them and making them feel less than. Even though they went to school to be a teacher, they have a love for teaching. If I have a kid, I almost want their first teacher to be a teacher that has not worked as a teacher before. That first year educator wants to be a teacher so much that they're going to work so hard.
Yeah.
That 15-year teacher that just is just going through the motions now because their love for it isn't there as much as it used to be, because so many things change and there's so many they don't have the support that they should. You know, it's
and I think that's true in a lot of aspects of life. I mean, that's, you know, whether I like to fish a lot, but when you pay entry money. And you show it, your mind switches gears. It's not about, I enjoy doing this today. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not the same as it is if I just go.
Well, and I agree. And you're talking as a whole, not as this group of teachers over here that I have love and compassion for. But you're just speaking as a whole, the educators within this school.
Yeah. Well, and it's honestly educators within all schools, because or the majority of schools anyway. There's some that you'll find, and I say it's definitely harder on high school teachers. I feel like, just because there's some more important times that happen there. You know, it's from 9th to 12th grade. These grades matter. And
just speaking for somebody like me on a subject like that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I hate to admit some things because it sounds so harsh, but I like them from newborn to like 5, 6.
Yeah.
And then when they get to where they can start talking back and turning into teenagers, I'm like, go somewhere else. Come back and see me when you got a job.
Yeah, and a lot of teachers.
That's not true. He loves them all.
I do love them all. I do. I mean, but
there's some great kids.
Yeah,
and then there's some that are great in their own way.
Yeah,
yeah. So,
so we do have a question.
oh, let's hear it.
So it says, can you see about Westside having a football, track, and field sports complex? Come on now, Travis. That's a tall order for anybody.
So I think that there's a great opportunity to start 8-man here because you don't have to have a field. You can go play on Heber's Field. You can Southside B Branch just started.
But is there other schools
Yes.
that have that?
Yeah. So and honestly, they're growing around us. So we wouldn't even have to travel as far as we would have normally, and you don't have to have a lot of kids to play. And
And I don't know how true it is, but I've always heard there's just not enough
Yeah,
kids
so-
that express enough
yeah.
interest to.
well, so the ones that express interest has left the school. So if like I know that we've sent several to Heber and Quitman because they have football programs, and it could be something that's grown into. But that's something that is I feel like is something that we could do. You know, but that's I know this comes from a former coach and 4-sport athlete. We focus a lot on athletics, and
But that's
I think that there's an opportunity to do more. You know, there's so many. The school is so currently financially stable that we could start creating programs. And even though it would take time to get kids in here, it would help grow our community. It'd help grow our school. If things that think outside the box on, like what Quitman does with the building trades. So they have kids come from all around and get bused there to do that.
And that's my thought process. I would rather see money invested in trade, like I've been watching since where Randy and M's.
Yeah,
and
just
I would rather see more of that. Me personally,
yeah,
because there's a lot more opportunity when you get out of school.
They try to
type of thing.
They try to make it to where
Most kids are not going to the NFL.
Yes.
I hate to break your hearts.
they try to quantify the value. It's like, oh well, if only 5 people want to do this, then we don't need to do it. Or, and this is something that I've talked to a couple of parents about that were trying to support it, but the new FFA building. I think that they missed a great opportunity to do something better than what we did. Because from what it looks like is it's just going to be a place where they'll put some gate panels up and have some animals in there, and that's it. But there's no room to expand. So if it ever grows, you can't do anything with it. There would have to be so much done behind it to make it to where you could do anything with it. So the school owns a ton of property behind. So this is something we'll get to in a little bit about that. But they could have started clearing some of that off, made it into an area where you could have grazing for these kids' animals that no other program has.
Right.
You know, and build it to where people would want to be a part of it. Or where the kids in the elementary school would be able to come out and see, you know, what kid doesn't like to go see a bunch of animals,
Right.
you know?
So I think our viewers are waking up now.
Oh, yeah.
So Tracy nailed it. In my opinion, she said Westside needs a VOTEC with electrical, plumbing, HVAC desperately. Our graduates may not want or can go to college and want a trade, like add cosmetology.
I mean, I can promise you, I would have been a lot better student in school if I'd have had something in a direction.
Yeah.
College was not my thing. School was a place to get a nap.
Yeah, so
give me something to do or let me go.
If
home.
I had it to do over again, it gave me the greatest opportunity. Or it gave me the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know, because I finished school. So my school counselor told me that I wouldn't go to college. She said you're going to go to a VOTEC, and so I just believed her. I was like, okay, you know,
my
that's
10th
fine.
grade teacher told me I'd never have a real job.
So and so
Well,
I just
there's
kept. For me, it was because somebody told me I couldn't that I did, and it took me till I was a junior in college when I was in my upper level history classes, and I was struggling. I couldn't retain the information and my teacher said, "What is going on with you?" He was like, so he said, "We're going to figure this out." So 2 weeks in his office, going through some learning techniques, and I went from having like a 2.75 GPA through my first 2 years to a 3.75 through my last 2 years and a 4.0 through my master's. Like it just clicked, you know.
Wow.
And it took somebody to just take a little time, and that's what I wanted to be as a teacher. And I had an amazing first year teaching. Coaching was, I will say, coaching was primary, you know, for what I was wanting to do, but the teaching part of it was just as gratifying. Just doing. I had some amazing students. And then as those couple years went on, I got that where we're just going to put kids in your class that don't want to be here because you're a coach. And so it really hurt my teaching. But I did my best to try to reach those kids too. And we had good relationships, but it was hard to get back to that. Like I said, it was that first year of teaching. I was fired up, ready to go, you know, and then, you know, I will say that I could have been a better teacher as I could have been a better coach. You know, I was getting there.
Well, we could all be better
Better
in
at
some
whatever we're
aspect.
doing.
Yeah.
So this is something that people don't know. Do you know colleges don't teach you how to teach?
I can totally believe that.
You have to go do it. And so if you don't have people around you that you can watch do that at a high level, then you're going to be at the level that they're at. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's where we were, but there wasn't that really high expectation, except for a couple of teachers that you got to, and it was just in the way they did things. So
for sure.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ramsey, I would have like 5:30, 6 a.m. practice, and he would beat me there working on his lesson plans for the day every single day.
Yeah.
When
I was doing the county thing, when I was county appraiser, well, in order to get to what they call level 2 and to be able to go out on my own and do and do the work, it was basically a college degree that I had to go through.
Yeah.
And we had one instructor. I took class under him 3 times. Mm-hmm. I failed on every one. There was just something about
it was his teaching method.
The way he talked, his cadence, his tone. It did not penetrate my brain.
Yeah. I had a math teacher like that at ASU Heber. There was 32 of us to start the class. On the day before you could withdraw, there was only 3 of us left. And he said, "I don't think but one of you's going to pass." and so after that, he had to change how he was teaching. You know, they obviously didn't want every kid to withdraw from the class every year.
Yeah.
But then I went to a different teacher and was fine.
And I guess that's kind of my thought process with that is, you know, maybe it's not the kid in some cases. Maybe it's just for whatever reason. I mean, even as human beings, I mean, there's a reason you're not friends with every single human on the planet. It's everybody doesn't jive.
Yeah,
correct.
Right. And honestly, I think that we have not figured out as educators how to overcome No Child Left Behind, if that makes sense. Because I feel like what we've done is we've made it to where we don't fail kids. And so they're like, well,
even when
it's really hard. It's really hard.
Because I was one of those kids that probably should have got left behind.
So like, and there's some of
that's the bad thing about this show. I'm also honest.
There's some people that, you know, we all went to school with that may have got held back, and they're better for it now than they would have been if we would have just let them go along. And they may tell you that. They may not see it that way. I don't know.
They may not see it until they're 25.
Yeah,
that kind of goes along with the question that Brandon asked. Are there educational conferences or specialty training? He said those usually get me fired up again about what I'm doing. So just like for us, we have to do CE every year.
Yeah.
Because things are constantly
Mm-hmm.
changing. So does teachers do that?
Yes. Yeah, they do a lot of professional development. Usually at the beginning of the year, they'll bring a company in and to try to re-energize the staff and get them ready for the year. And sometimes it honestly does the opposite effect. And it's not meaning to be, but I remember I think it might have been the first year I was at Westside. They brought in a company called Capturing Kids' Hearts, and it made everybody so emotional that by the end of the week that they were all done.
They were
It was like you had been in school for 2 months already, every single day.
So you're just
after the
physically
first
drained.
week,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, they do a lot of professional development, and that's.
I had some professional development when I was in elementary school. When I was in third grade, I got one paddling.
Yeah.
From Miss Lee. She was a little black lady about this tall. And let me tell you, one was enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what that little lady done with that board.
Yeah.
But it lit this little white boy up.
Yeah.
And when she said sit down and shut up from then on, I sat down and shut up. Now when I got to fourth grade, Mr. Calvert, he paddled me like 3 times every class. I don't know why.
And you probably deserved them.
I did. I deserved every one of them. But it's just, even in paddlings, some teachers got it.
Yeah.
Mr. Calvert didn't.
So I think kids do well with incentives. I think everybody does well with incentives.
Well,
so my thing too,
depending on the incentives.
Yes. So yeah, to a point. I think teachers also, as adults, we also are incentivized to do things a certain way that we will try harder to meet these goals if there's a reason why we're doing it. And it's not just saying, oh, it's just because of the kids. Well, sometimes they are not fun to deal with. And so I think
neither are adults.
Oh, I know.
And tell me if I'm crazy. I mean, this is just a thought that I've had about, for a kid like me, what would have made a whole lot more sense in school would have been 1st through 6th. I'm learning how to read and write and get along with everybody in class.
Right.
Just general, stuff.
The basics.
Basics, yeah.
Then middle school.
Right up until Shirley method. Were y'all? Did y'all have that?
I don't know what that is.
4th grade. It's like English skills, and I'll never forget the Shirley method. Anyway, I think they need to bring it back to school because there was all kinds of little cadence things that taught you. I feel like that's why my reading comprehension in English is so good, just because of 4th grade Shirley method. And I bet some people on the chat know what I'm talking about.
Us.
Yeah, it may have.
Yeah. But and then once you get to middle school, instead of a grade book, have like a debit card.
Yeah.
And your scores get put on the card. And then for Christmas break, just so that kids can learn about socialism and capitalism. What Christmas break, take everybody's total score, divide it up, give everybody the same amount of money, or same amount of
scores.
Yeah, to go to like a
you can use it at the concession stand or whatever. Yeah, and do that through middle school. Just teach them how to basically manage this, and then by the time most kids get to high school, I feel like in most cases you kind of have an idea of a direction kids are going in by high school. Yeah. And then once it's in high school, start focusing their high school toward.
Yeah, so
like teaching them how to write a check.
Yeah, so
and balancing a checkbook.
I feel like there's a reason why they don't teach kids how to do taxes and manage your money and try to stay out of debt as long as possible, and how interest rates affect your life and things like, there's so many things that you think that we would teach that we like.
Well, I mean, if you go back in history, it's because
they want us to stay this way.
Yeah. Wanted a herd of cows to be 40-hour weekers.
Yeah. Well, in this kind of goes back to, the kids and the teachers, the adults, whatever. If we all think back to when we were that age, what did we all want? Every kid, whether they realize it or not, they need structure.
Yeah. So none of us want to be made to do things
Right.
until we're made to do those things, and there's a reason
And it
behind
benefits,
it.
and we,
Yeah.
and we get the pat on the back because
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
just,
oh, this makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's no different than having a dog.
Yeah.
You know, a dog don't want to be your lap dog.
Yeah.
Most dogs,
But that's
enjoy
how I'm
doing-
going to get your attention. You know what I'm saying?
Just,
But I mean, I've said this about our nieces, you know, whatever. Every kid knows that they're loved or should know that they're loved. But along with love comes structure.
has to.
Yeah.
If there's no structure,
Yeah.
then what do they have to look forward to?
Right.
I mean, Jesus
Well-
loves us, but he lets us know right quick when we mess up.
Exactly.
Well, and that's what goes
So
back.
it's not all a pat on the back.
It goes back to these teachers too. Like I said, how they spend more time with your kids than you do. I will say that there's nobody that loves the kids of this community more than the teachers of Westside School, and I know that from being around them. Said there's no perfect educator,
Right.
You know,
Oh,
No
absolutely.
perfect
not
person.
there's no just put me in a box and this is how I'm going to teach, and we're going to run you in and out of here like cattle, and you're just going to learn and get over it.
That reminds me of that meme
Yeah.
you seen that where it's like a monkey, an elephant, a tiger,
Yeah.
and all these different animals. All right, everybody takes the same test. Everybody climb that tree.
Yeah.
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 Well, not everybody can do that.
All right.
And that's
You know?
that's just like what I found out. I found out how I learned by somebody taking the time and helping me. You know, and so I will say that I've seen and from what I can tell, and this is something we don't necessarily know what's going on up at school. You know, I may know a little bit more than most people just because I have relationships with educators there, but there's just not there's a, hey, Johnny did this at the spelling bee, but it's not, oh, well, we're having to discuss future planning. This is something that I've been thinking about, is future planning for the school. I know that there is a master plan, but I don't know if anybody else thinks this way, but it makes no sense to me on how the school is laid out. It's a bunch of buildings that detach from each other. I don't know how many buildings they're up to now, but it feels like 12 or 13. There's no master plan on what, to me, a real plan, a real thought for the future on what that looks like. And that's something that I want to be a part of, because the element, from what I know, is that the elementary and high school main building is going to need to be replaced over the next, just call it 10 years. So have a 10-year plan based on that.
Well, I can honestly say I've never been.
I've been in the front door
Yeah.
like 10 feet one time, and I've been in the cafeteria.
So
And I've been in the gym.
I think there needs to be, financially is the issue, and I think that you just have to plan out for it. But it makes more sense to have for multiple reasons to have one main building for both elementary and high school. You split them up to each side. You put your classes in there however you want to, but to me it's not only just smarter but it's a safety issue. So when I drove by there, there's people with the rear ends of their cars out in the highway trying to get in the pickup lines, and kids can walk. They'll be all over the parking lot, right out there in front of people. And if you make it to where, well, let me back up. If any of us wanted to go on that campus, you can at least make it to a door of any building in there. You may not be able to get in, but there's probably, just say there's 40 access points to that school on exterior doors. Would it not make more sense to have 5? to one main building. You have your main door that goes to each side of elementary and high school, and you have some access points on the sides. But you can control the safety of kids that way better than you can now. And then there's so much that you can unpack with that. But I feel like as having a kid, I want to know that my kid's safe.
Right.
And I think the school. I don't think the school has done a bad job with that. I'm not saying that, but these are the days that we live in now, and you have to start thinking about it more than you used to. I was never scared to go to that school, ever. Scared.
Yeah, I mean, any school.
I don't think kids are necessarily scared to go there now, but you have to start thinking about it. And so you have one SRO that has to cover 13 buildings. You think that's feasible? But if they can watch 5 doors, then that's something that they can do. And so that's a whole other plan. And that goes with, I think there's a way to do it. I really do. But, it just comes down to planning and funds. But, that's one of the biggest things I see. One of the two biggest things.
It just blows my mind how much the world has changed since I was a kid. When I was a kid, we'd play ball at the city park and sleep on the benches and all night. Yeah. And I mean,
I'll never forget.
We didn't worry about anything. Didn't have to worry about anything.
They had some old basketball goals and the tennis courts out to the left of the gym, the old gym, kind of where the new one is now. And I don't know, I was 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. And I stayed up there too long, missed all my rides home. And somebody, I can't remember, I think it was a senior at the time, took me home, dropped me off at the mailbox. I'm like, don't pull up in the driveway. So they're already going to be mad at me. And because they didn't know where I was. And because I loved basketball so much that I wanted to spend every time I could, just on a court of some sort, And, but now, like I feel like you said, you can still trust people to do the right thing around here, but all it takes is one time.
Sadly, you're right. Yeah. But I am a glutton when it comes to benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I guess I don't want to accept.
I was the same way until Emory, and my thought about education changed. So I see a different perspective than what I did before she came into the picture.
Well, I mean that's true. I mean we don't have kids,
yeah.
but I'm the same way. I see a different perspective too, because I think back, how much different my life would have been had this or this been the case when I was in school. So.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have kids, but I went through it.
Yeah, we are super blessed with where we're at on still being safe. It's still an area. You have a couple of things every now and then that you hear, but for the most part, I bet the majority of people still leave their door unlocked, the keys in the car. So it's like a time capsule.
It is, and It's a hill I'm willing to die on, if I'm being honest, because I mean this place is just.
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay, we got a couple of questions here.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Okay, so who can vote for the school board, and when is the election?
So the I can't remember exactly how the districts are lined out. It goes up into Fairfield Bay, up into Prim. I think it goes up to the top of Pryor Mountain, and to Tannenbaum. Pretty much, if you're in between those 4 areas, you can vote for the school board. And the election is March 3rd. It's coming up faster every day.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
March 3rd.
Well, and I'll be honest. So, I know everybody else has signs out, and they're doing, and it's not that I think I just didn't. To be honest, I'm so tight with my money. I'm blessed to be able to have Emily at home with Emery, and every dollar that we have goes to them.
Well, and when you find yourself in one of those debt situations that you fight out of.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I just don't enjoy paying anything.
But that's one of those things.
Yes.
If I'd have been taught how to deal with debt in school, I'd have had that issue.
Yeah, you put yourself in enough debt and you get out of it. You don't even I'm so stingy.
Yeah.
Emily would say opposite. She says, "You're stingy until you want to buy something." I won't buy a new shirt, but I'll buy a $2,000 item.
Right.
It's like anyway, I just felt like a lot of people in the area have gotten to know me over the years, and when I feel like I've always tried to do the right thing. I know that I'm sure I've made many people angry, and it may have been years ago, and I think all of us can say that we've all grown. And I think we grow all the time.
I sure hope so.
If we're not growing and learning.
So we're always growing up. And so things might have happened that was in a youthfulness, or, back before I don't take things near as serious as I used to, because, it came from coaching really, is I went through such a hard time that it helped me it keeps preparing me for life situations that keep going on. I think life is just getting tougher in general. And it's not that, you know what I mean?
But I think
it changes.
I think what changed about it though is the technology that we have.
Yeah. I think
it's,
that
everything's more in our face. To where, like when I was a kid, didn't have a cell phone. I didn't know anybody was mad at each other.
Right. Oh yeah.
If I knew somebody was mad at each other, it's because we was playing basketball and somebody said, "Hey, I'm mad at you."
Yeah. Yeah. Right. We met at the gravel pit. And took care of it.
Right.
That's
after this game is over.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if elected, how do you plan to show the teachers you support them?
First thing I'll do is actually go to the school and have conversations with them, because I think that there used to be some school board members that did that, but we're elected by the community to be their voice in the school. And the problem is that I don't need to say it like that.
Well, I mean,
it's that they need to know that somebody is there to support them, but also I'm not there to rubber stamp that they're doing an amazing job. I want them to know that, hey, there's expectations of what you're supposed to be doing. But as somebody who's seen what happens to people that they kind of get the raw end of things, and maybe not get the due process that they deserve. So they've come out with this system of grading teachers over the last couple of years. So you get
who's grading them?
Well, the administrators.
Oh,
yeah. So they look at what you're doing and they grade you off. They grade how good of a teacher you are. So
that's interesting.
They can put you on different plans and so it can be positive, but it has a lot of negative to it because of how it's managed, in my opinion. I think that you can build people up, but also tell them that they need to fix these things, but not make them wake up every day and not want to go to school because you're in their class every day berating them because they're not doing it exactly how you want to do it. But that goes back to how you talk to people. If people respect you and know that you have their best interest, then they can allow you to be harder on them, and make you do, and have you do. If it's in
a respectful way.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of it is. A lot of it is reactive instead of proactive. And this is what I see is that sometimes we react to things that go wrong at the school instead of being proactive, trying to get out in front of things. And I'm not saying that happens all the time, but that's just what I see, is that we, instead of being open with what's going on, which was what I would like to do, is I'd like to treat it like it's a quarterly business meeting at church. All of what we're doing comes out, everything. And it needs to be, it could be done just like this. You don't have to have a meeting. You can tell everybody, and where people can ask questions, because when you have a school board meeting, and this may be, there's all kinds of rules that I'm going to learn, because there's even professional development for board members, and there's school law, and there's all kinds of things that I'll have to learn about and what I can and can't say. But I think there's a lot of things that could be said to the community that's not being said. That doesn't mean everybody has to like it, but the problem is no one likes confrontation, and I'm the first one to not like it. I being in the restaurant business and a restaurant manager now, I take a lot of berating from customers and people, and I don't like it. If I can not do it, then I'll not do it. But that doesn't mean that your concerns are not valid. It just may mean that we need to address them. And if you talk to me and we talk to each other in a certain way of respect, then maybe that we can get to where we want to be together, Right. And so, but the problem goes back to like what you said on how everybody wants their kid to be the best at everything. And I want Emery to be the best at whatever she does and be treated like a human being. And if she's not doing right, though, I want to trust I want to know enough about the school and the teachers that I can trust the teachers are doing the right thing and they're taking care of my child. And because they may not be doing something right, that I'm going to believe the teacher because I trust them.
Well, saying that's when I was a kid, that's kind of how it was. I mean,
but the problem now is nobody knows the teachers. So we had so little turnover for so long that you knew everyone, and you knew when you were getting to that algebra 1 and 2 that Mr. Rickert was going to be there and he was going to be hard on you, and he may or may not have smacked my desk with a ruler a couple of times, but what was neat.
So the teacher that I said had probably the biggest impression on me all throughout school. One of the things I really liked about her, my pep was half Cherokee, and he just said what popped in his head. Yeah. He didn't care who you were, what you looked like. It didn't make him any difference. If he wanted to say something, he said it. You had two choices, like it or move on with your life. He didn't care.
Right.
And this particular teacher was the same way. If you've got to piss, don't interrupt my class. Go piss and come back. You're half grown.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, I passed. I done well in her class.
Yeah, and we would love to give kids more responsibility, and that's something else. We've kind of put kids in a box there too, is not giving them chances to, or explaining to them how to be adults. And that takes some finesse.
It
really
you
have
does.
Those teachers that can do it, and that's what I think.
Without
The flip side of that
line.
is I would like to know the teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers that are teaching my kids to be adults, because there's a lot of things being taught in this world right now that
wouldn't it. And wouldn't it be nice to know that you had some control over conservative curriculum in our school? I think that we just, I know that they're doing, I think it's the SMART curriculum or something like that. And that doesn't mean that they're kept in a box on what they're doing, but they're following the lead of a bunch of other schools instead of being a trailblazer for something different.
Well, I'm a firm believer that anytime state or federal money is involved, it comes with rules and guidelines that you have to play by.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think there's some little leeway in there now. I think that we could create a curriculum that is better than just I don't want to just do what everybody else is doing. I want the kids that want to learn. I want them to have the opportunity to learn more. And this, I go back to when I was in school. We had in the high school, we had two different sets of classes. We had the kids that didn't want to learn, and we had the kids that did want to learn. And they got split into two classes, and it was, upper level English and lower level English. It wasn't
my class.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was that kid that just
when I first started teaching, I said I didn't like that because I was in the middle. And it was because I was just struggling to learn. Like I said, it took me a while to figure out why I couldn't. And so I wanted to be that teacher that met those people in the middle and helped push them.
But to be fair, I've had a full-time job since I was 14.
Yes.
And school was kind of my place to get rest.
Yes. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, can I ask another question?
Yes. Yeah. We get down those rabbit holes every time.
How do you feel about spending money on bullying classes or assemblies?
I'm not against it.
I think nature's been handling that for years. We just need to let nature continue to handle it.
It's a hard subject because we had bullying when we were in school.
There's been bullying from
So I think you got to do it the right way. And I don't know. I think you just keep looking on what people are having.
I guess the flip side is bullying nowadays. Again, like when I was a kid, if you had a bully,
it's not even.
We're at the park.
Yeah,
we can get over this in a minute.
It's not even face to face.
It's not right. That's the problem with it today.
It's this
through social
right
media,
here.
I think
through all the nonsense.
The bigger thing is trying to teach kids that none of this matters.
None of it matters.
It's like you're gonna graduate. You're going to move on, and all those people that treated you that way are probably doing it because they're going to be less than you are. And I'm not saying that's what, I'm not saying that's what it is, but you have the opportunity to do so many things in life that doesn't matter about what somebody says about you. Now, on the other side of that, you look at Quitman and all of the actual physical bullying that was going on over there. That's an unacceptable thing that has to be.
I don't know. I didn't know anything about that.
It's been going on. I guess I don't know if it was last year. It was at least last year. Some kids in the locker room getting practically sexually assaulted. Sounds like, and it's gone to the state board. It's been with the police, and it was kind of a big deal.
And then there again, where I went to public school. I mean, when I was in 6th grade, we'd walk into the cafeteria, and one of my buddies opened up his coat pocket, and he had a 38 special in his pocket, talking about, "I'm gonna take care of them boys tomorrow."
Right.
So that's what I grew up with.
Yeah. So what we grew up with is say the exact same things happen. People are doing it. And so that's what the bullying creates too. Is it creates a hatred for people. I just don't. That's been on my mind and on my heart for a long time. Is how do you help kids through that?
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Well, and I think it comes it's creating relationships with teachers that you can talk to them, and that's one thing that some people have a knack for it and some people don't. And I had several kids that would come talk to me about things. Like I had a group of girls that were cutting themselves. I had one girl that was assaulted by her parents. Like that, they would come to me and tell me things that I would have to find a way to sort through with them, or take it to whoever needs to know about it. But you gain trust with those kids. And one of the things that I wanted to do after I left school, because like I said, the bullying thing is something I've been trying to figure out, is create a mentorship program where 11th and 12th graders mentor 6th and 7th graders. So that's when you can really mold kids, and when you can kind of tell halfway through the 11th grade year and 12th grade year, kids start growing up and they start doing, being adults. They're not perfect, but if you had a way to have some teachers be somebody that those kids can come talk to, and then kids that see bullying, that are that mentor group, can go to that kid that is struggling and be a positive role model in their life. And I think that just something like as simple as that can go a long way.
Kind of like an in-house Big Brother kind of thing.
Going back to professional development, I wanted to create a professional development course that I went into schools and taught. That is how, because it's become a huge issue, and I don't know how to fix it, but I know that I looked up to older kids, and if you can teach those older kids how to act around those ones that they're mentoring, and then they, as they get up, then they can mentor the groups that are coming up, and then you create an atmosphere of positive reinforcement to kids that are struggling or having trouble with bullying.
I'll be honest. I mean, I don't really have these conversations with. You're probably the first one, but in the thought process of it, because I mean, we all have the thoughts, because we all see the news, we all see the things. Yeah. But I actually like. I mean, I actually like that idea.
Yeah. It's the closest thing I could come up with that I felt like could do instead of just classes, and it's an actual movement. Like you're doing something. You're not just talking about it, and that's that's the hard thing is kids need to see somebody doing the right thing.
But that's why this thing right here, like stuff like this. This is why it's important.
Yeah.
Didn't ever really think about bullying.
I reached out to. This would have been years ago. I reached out to an admin at Concord schools to try to implement it for a year. It was after they had a kid commit suicide, and I'd been thinking about it before, and I'm like, this is something that I think that could work, but I need to try it because I was gonna I really thought about it because they bring in these professional development stuff that I could go in and teach teachers how to be mentors to those mentors, and then the mentors mentor kids. That was the whole plan. But I haven't figured out how to put it together. So
I'm sure it would require a little bit of cooperation.
Yeah. Well, you got to have some, and I know we would, but you have to have some teachers that would step up and be that role model for the
kids. The older I get,
and then you have to find kids that would actually go and talk to kids, because that's another thing is we'll text them or we'll
that's true.
But will we actually go talk to someone?
Yeah. Honestly, that's the older I get, the more, and I really started learning it whenever I started doing the county reappraisal stuff in 2008. And what I learned doing that was it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of sign people have in their yard. It doesn't matter what kind of flag it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pull up and if you can have a 10-minute conversation with almost anybody, there's something that you both agree on.
Yep.
You may not agree on everything, but the problem nowadays is,
yeah,
and it's gotten worse since 2008.
It's that we can't disagree and still be friends.
We can't sit here and have a conversation.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We get on the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get offended too much.
And it's
Everything's right here.
And that's why the bullying thing kind of in my mind would be hard to address, because
so I think
just because you get made fun, I mean,
if you can start with your most popular kids and kids that people look up to and get them to buy into it. The kids the bullies that are in the younger,
but I mean,
the bullies. I know we
bullying. But are they really being a bully just because they say something that hurts somebody's feelings?
There could be most of the time it's just looking for something to they think that it makes them look cool.
That's what makes it scary.
Yes.
These days, part of what makes it scary is putting a label on a kid
that they're a bully, and they might have not even known. They might have not even known they hurt somebody's feelings.
I mean, if
You know?
Right.
yeah,
Unless that person said that hurt my
Yeah.
feelings.
but I mean, even then, I
She
mean,
told me my hair looked bad. I'm just she
Your
bored
head's
me to
nappy.
death. It's like,
You-
I'm not saying that that's what happens,
Right.
but you know, there's some things that you
That
listen.
some
to,
of it is very
you listen
serious.
to kids. Yeah. Oh yeah. You listen. You know, and we had a couple things happen when I was teaching in Westside that had to be addressed over. It was you like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You know, that's
Right.
not and then they ended up a couple years later, you didn't even think about it anymore. They had changed, you know, and you don't want to when we start putting labels on kids, it follows them.
Right.
And it's like, so it might have been a kid that could have done something different if he had some positive influence in his life, but now he just got stuck in the bottom rung of the class. And
He was already getting the short end of the stick.
They continue to act
Yeah.
out because that's where they've got stuck at, and all the teachers put them in that box, and that's where they are, and it'll follow them forever. So,
and to be fair, the kid done absolutely. I mean, you know, did he or she do something that maybe wasn't 100% appropriate?
yeah,
But was it bad enough?
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes on, and the discipline
sitting here in
at
this
the
chair,
school
I can tell you, I don't want any part
needs
in
to-
helping making those decisions because
discipline needs to definitely be addressed. And it's not that I don't think that they're doing a bad job. I just don't know what kind of job they're doing anymore. I know they've moved Shane Davis into more of a figure of discipline. I can't remember what they call that. It's anyway. From what I understand, he does a great job.
you
It was
might-
completely different
Yeah.
from when we were in school.
Yeah. The principals don't have to handle too much of discipline. He's the one that does it. Dean of students is what that is. So, but it's like you said, it's different because when we were in school, bullying. Like I remember watching. I was in 7th grade and I watched a fight from some senior girls, like blood everywhere. Put her head in through not completely through it, but smashing the girl's head into a locker. You don't see that a whole lot anymore. You know, I bet they have a handful of fights up there. They may have more than what I think, but you know, you had a handful of. But most of it now is based on Facebook,
Right.
and TikTok, and all the messages,
and that's the bad
So
part
that-
about it is
Yeah.
you don't get to go home from school and get
yeah.
and get away
Right.
from it.
Yeah, now it
it
follows
just
you
keeps
home.
going
Yeah.
and going and going.
Yeah.
So, I could see that it's
Yeah,
just a completely different
it's
world.
a big issue, and
Yeah.
that's a hard question. I just don't know how. I really don't know that
That's not
assemblies and things like that.
One way to fix it.
Yeah, because I tell you, kids are up there in the stands not listening at all. You know you actually have to do something.
Yeah.
and I think that's where we've missed out. You know.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull this out of the rabbit
Yep.
hole for a second. Okay. I love the aspect of safety. That we have in our community. I am very happy with the formation of the school PD. Cody, would you advocate for a large police presence at the school, especially during drop off and pickup time?
Yeah, I think that should already be a thing. And I did notice a couple times I've drove through that the city is back there patrolling. I would love to see them be more present in even helping unload kids and making sure that, because I tell you that safety, that's that school drop off line. You are not paying attention. You're on your phone, and a little kindergartner walks in front of your car, and the other one
You
moves
can't see
up.
'em.
And yeah, so I would, we would love to see more.
But would you advocate for that?
I don't know.
Was the question.
Yeah. So I do think that it goes back to what I said about too many access points. One person can't do it. So if you're going to leave it like it is, then I think that if we have the ability to, that you look into adding a piece to that.
But it all comes down to money, and
Yeah,
I mean
it does.
you can only keep milking the turnips.
Yeah. But we also, so it goes to something else, is that the school is the biggest part of this community. We pay, I believe, 3 police officers right now in the city. You alternate them through the school, and they could just be they could be a part. They could be a part of that police force and be present on campus.
To be fair, you got 3 officers, and that means 3 officers to run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yeah. And I will say that
those guys deserve a day or two off here and there. You know,
but I bet you go talk to them, and they would love to.
Oh, I'm sure.
They would love to have.
I'm sure
they would probably do it off the clock. If I don't know that they would do it to a certain point, but they get in it to keep people safe. And who's more important to keep safe than the kids of the community? You know. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that that's the fix, but I would love to see that, because
my biggest fear with adding anything is I hate to call the school board government, but it's a government.
Yeah. It's a business.
It's never cut here so we can fund this. Yeah. It's get more here and fund this. Get more and fund this too. And
I'll say that.
And at some point, your turnips are going to have nothing left.
And so that's why I said I don't know. I do know that the school is very well funded now, thanks to everyone's tax dollars, and I think that there's so many things that we could be looking to do because of that, and it'll make you instead of hating every time you have to go pay that, you're like, I'm proud that the money that I am paying is spent in a way that is gonna keep the kids of the community safe. It's going to empower them to do better than what we're capable of doing.
Well, I think it would give the taxpayer a better feeling if they knew those things that the money was being spent on. That's kind of the issue too.
You're never going to make everybody happy,
right?
And that's the hard part, is trying to balance the major important things. And that's why you have to have trust in the people that you're voting for.
But since we've lived here, I've never heard where the money went. I've just heard we need more, or we're closing the doors.
So everybody's like, well, why don't you go to board meetings? Well, so the board meetings are like, they've already planned it. It's rubber stamped. It's yay, nay, yay, yay, nay. No background, no nothing. You might get a newsletter that says Timmy got 3rd place in the spelling bee. But there's nothing like.
There's no information.
Today
for the community.
So we could literally sit down and do something just like this and say,
just have a couple of representatives from the school board
and take questions that aren't as in your face, because that's what people don't like, that confrontation when you get up, and most of the people that get up to speak, to ask questions, are already mad about something. And so you already come in with that negative, that negativity, and it's trying to bash people. And the majority of the people are just trying to do the right thing. So there's always that's one thing I did want to say. I'm going into this with zero agenda. I think that I didn't, and honestly, if I would have known, I didn't even really know. So when we were talking about, when they asked me to run, they were talking about positions available, and I'm like, I'll just pick that one. I didn't even know who I was running against.
Well, that was one of the questions somebody asked. What position was you running for?
So it's position 5, and
I don't even know what that means.
So it's not like. Some places the positions are mapped out.
Right.
So the school board, it's not that way. You're just running for.
Right. It's just one school.
I want to say it's like position 2, 4, and 5. I may be wrong on that, but I'm running against Tyler Lisenby, and we go to church together, and I didn't even realize that he was in that position, because that's how little, I really paid attention to. Who was doing what. And I'm so thankful that I hate that it's me and him, but there's been zero mudslinging. No, between me and him are fine. I hate it. I hate that somebody has to vote for somebody. If you don't want to vote for me, vote for Tyler. He's going to do great. It's like
that's like when the spot was open on city council, and somebody mentioned it need to show up such and such night, and I was like, and I kind of, and by the time it come around, I'm going to go. I don't expect anything out of it, but at least I showed up.
Yeah.
And then we were talking to some other people, and they were like, "We want to do it." I'm like,
"You're like,
you do it.
Yeah,
you do it."
Yeah. And so I'm thankful that me and him, I feel like are okay. You know, so that really worried
we
me.
all still live in the same community.
So
we're
and
gonna see each other on a daily.
I don't have anything against anyone. Like I can't think of anybody. And I've had some people pretty hard against me, especially when I was coaching. But time healed that, and time does a lot of things for people. But
and that doesn't mean tomorrow you're not going to have a conversation with somebody on something you disagree on.
I went up and got my back adjusted to Jacob's the other day, and he didn't snap my neck, so we're good to we're okay. We're okay.
Not let me walk out of here and let me, so we're good.
And I bet
not that Jacob would do that.
No, absolutely not. That was a definite
Jacob's
joke.
off.
Yeah, that was a definite
He's
joke.
amazing.
I walked out of there and felt better. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's always been real good to me.
Just saying, if there was somebody that wanted to sabotage this deal,
he has the ability.
He had the opportunity.
He had the ability.
I'm so sorry, Jacob. I can't keep them reeled in here.
So, but I'm not, and I have no. That's another thing. I know that I'm not a yes man for anybody. I'm going in there with my own mind, and I have questions that I want answered. I think that. My biggest question, and a lot of the reason why I think that the high school staff feel like they're not being attacked, but I don't know how you want to say it, but it feels like they're getting pushed on a little bit more maybe than the elementary, is that they've not had a steady hand for the last 6 years. So they've had 5 principals in the last 6 years. What's going on there? So is it because they're just leaving? Is it because they're not doing something right?
That kind of goes in 2 parts that we have, 2 different. Mm-hmm. One of them's a question, one of them's a comment. But Jason made a comment. All kids and teachers need to have the same consequences, regardless of social status and popularity.
Yeah, there's
nailed it.
So.
But that goes to this question.
Okay.
It says, you used to hire teachers from the area and they were invested in the school and the community. Mm-hmm. Now they come and go.
Yeah.
How do you plan on keeping good teachers and staff?
So, and I don't know if this is even feasible, but there's a lot of local teachers within an area that are good educators. And especially something that I would love to look into is especially in your core areas, is finding the best teacher that we can find and making it worth it to them to be here.
I will say, and this is throwing people like our realtors ourselves. I mean, I think part of that could possibly be for what they make.
Yeah,
the cost of bringing a home here.
Yeah. So I will say that
it's pretty tough.
Yeah. So I will say that I know a lot of people didn't like how the Learns Act and stuff happened. You'll have some detractors there, but it paid the teachers. They're starting out making $55 a year, and then the more you're there, the more you make, and it's still not. So educators. But then, if we could, we'd pay them like professional athletes.
But the flip side of that is, say the teacher does make $55 a year, but say they're married.
Yeah.
And what does their husband do?
Right.
Is it feasible?
Back when it started out, it was like, so when I started, it was 38. And this was just in 2015. So it's come a long way. But I think that, like you said, with the school being, the more financially stable we are, the better we should take care of educators. On the other side of that, they have to have somebody that keeps them doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, I mean, I guess what I was getting at is say you have a teacher that's been there 2 years and everybody just really loves him or her, but their spouse is in the military, and all of a sudden, the spouse gets relocated.
Yeah, sometimes that just happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would help to know the context of why we have teachers coming and going so fast.
Yeah, and on that question, we still get a lot of locals, either that or they've invested enough to move here and live here, and they want to be here. We have a lot of that. But we also have some that are. That goes back, and I think that would go back to what I was talking about taking care of them, because what we're getting on a lot of our harder to get subjects, like our math positions, I know has had a lot of turnover, and it's because they're hard to find. So you need to go out and find one and how coaches get stipends for y'all may not know. Coaches get stipends for coaching. You don't get paid extra for being a coach. You get a stipend which pays you extra. We should give stipends to educators for core subjects, math, science, English, those people that are hard to keep. And that way they're feeling like they're like.
But is that just here that those are hard to fill, or is that just
you have to fight for those people?
People are just not going to school for that anymore.
You have to fight for those
kids out there that's listening.
Yes,
if you're thinking about what to do for
math and science. If you want to teach
and have a job pretty much anywhere, it sounds like
you can go anywhere you want to and get a job. Yep.
Yeah. Don't be a statistic.
So I don't know the answer to that. I know that I loved it there. I know that there's a lot of people that grew up in Grish Ferry that teach there, and it doesn't mean that you're not getting the best educators because they're from here. Because it's like you said, they're invested, and sometimes all they need is some direction.
Yeah.
But it goes back to how you treat your teachers instead of
and making them feel supported.
Yeah, and that's going to take somebody that will actually communicate to the teachers instead of saying. It goes back to that reactive and proactive thing. We don't go like, what do you need? What do you need an extra hour to make your classes better? Like we want to so I do know that we have a B letter grade. I think that's a great place. If we could stay there, I think that's great. But for me, I want it to be A plus. I want the best education for all kids at all times, and that's just going to take some hard work and investment into our teachers, because that's who's doing the job. So.
What you got over here?
Oh, I was responding back to a Brooke Ott. She said, "Good thing the lunch ladies are awesome. Pay isn't much, but the job is so fulfilling." Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's like the lunch ladies are so awesome.
My grandmother was a lunch lady.
It would be really awesome if y'all would throw mashed potatoes at the kids every now and again.
Yeah. Well, I know that.
Don't put it past Missy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. And they don't get the credit they deserve either. They see these kids every day. They invest into those kids, and they can tell kids that are struggling, and just the interactions that they give kids can be helpful, And I know Missy does a great job with that. I have no doubt. I don't have to go through the line to know that, because I know who she is.
Right.
I know her heart. So, and that's what you have. You have a bunch of teachers, and I will say a lot of them are in your elementary. So you have a great base, and you have a lot of great high school teachers, but they can't be the same teacher that the elementary teachers are. They have to be. It's a different kid. It's a different type of education, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that I know. Something that I think.
If a 6-year-old
something I think is needed that I know that's controversial that probably teachers won't even like is I think there needs to be cameras in classes. And one, I would have hated it because it would have kept me doing my job. it would keep me
There again, like we try to do with the kids, hold
Yes.
them accountable.
Yes.
Hold the teachers
it would hold the teachers accountable.
too.
So that's one thing that they wouldn't like. But all of the stuff that they have to deal with every day in classes by certain kids, and then they go to administrator and say, "This is what's happening."
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than police body cams.
Yeah,
I mean,
now you know.
Here it is. I mean,
It's being covered.
So my kid would never do that. My kid would never do that while we have it on camera.
Yeah.
I know but that is going to be that's a very controversial topic with probably a lot of people. But
That would make more sense than well, anyway.
yeah, yeah. So
That's a different dumb camera situation.
So, I mean, you'll have to go back and
Yeah.
like read all the
Yeah.
comments
And if-
because
and if-
there's a lot of comments.
oh yeah, well,
but I've pretty
thanks
much
to everybody
ran
for coming
out
out and listening. I'm glad you did.
And next week we'll have you back for a lighter subject.
Oh yeah.
the one that I am so excited
Yeah.
about.
Might have a first on the show next week. Might have some taste testing.
But I will say I do appreciate you
Very
reaching
much.
out.
Yeah.
And because that's what this platform
Yeah.
is for.
Yeah. Well, so
Is
that's
not only
Now, if you,
I
if,
felt
if,
like-
if
I
you
felt
come
like
in
this
here and
was
you was
more
trying to-
important.
and it felt like you was trying to make drama and this, that, and the other, it'd be like,
Yeah.
look, Bo, get out.
Yeah, I felt like this
is
was
our-
more important
Yeah.
than putting up a sign. And so, I felt like if just being out there, taking questions from people, and I will try to also go back, and if something was missed that we didn't touch base on, I will tell you one thing: I don't know everything, but I know enough to ask.
Yeah.
Right, and you're not scared to ask.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to people that know more.
I don't know, Cody. People are really liking your camera idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
they said
so-
if camera is not available,
Yeah.
at least voice recording.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I think
one here is a teacher.
yeah.
There's not a teacher here, but
Yeah.
she said 100% like the camera in the classroom. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I love when my students kick me, throw
Yeah.
books at me.
Yeah.
We pull it up, and it's on camera.
It gives
Yep.
some accountability to kids.
Yep.
And like I said, I would have probably figured out, all right, where's my blind spot so I can go find it and put my desk there,
Right.
But it would, teachers want to do a great job. But I tell you, I think the helping them is going to try to figure out how to give them more time because they have families too.
Well,
They want to leave their job at home like what we want to leave our jobs at home.
I truly
What is-
do believe most
Yeah.
people.
We're the
I
wrong
know.
ones to ask that.
Yeah, I haven't had a day off since June, so
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But I think a lot of people go into things with the right mindset, thinking I'm gonna be great and change the world.
And that's great to have that mindset.
It can be.
Yeah, you need
But
you need
Have
people.
your expectations realistically.
Yeah,
And I think that's part of the issue is we're in that generation of we've all grown up, or I say grown up. We're all to the point that we're so entrenched in the technology realm to where when we put our picture on Facebook, we get 100 likes, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
so awesome.
You're like, I finally went viral.
Yeah. And so
My
you
100
expect-
friends all liked my post.
So you expect that
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
of your life in every aspect of your life.
That's a whole scientific thing that's still going on
Yeah.
that they're trying to figure out.
And sadly, that's just not the real world. You're going to screw
that's
up.
That's what and parents are trying. They're trying to tell their kids, it's like, this doesn't matter. Like, none of this matters. But it doesn't, you also need to have somebody that can, be there for your kid that that they're not just there dealing with it alone. And that's what, and that's
Someone outside the parent.
And
because
yeah.
as we all know, because
Yeah.
we're all guilty of it, if so-and-so over here said it,
yeah.
but said it the exact same way my mama said it, I'm going to listen because so-and-so said it.
Yeah.
Not my mama.
Or you said something, and by the time it got to you, that's not what was said, and you got your feelings hurt. And I'm like, I never said that.
Yeah.
Like I've had that happen before.
And the older you get, and I say the older I get,
Yeah.
I like when I hear rumors about myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Hey, they're talking about me.
well, one, they're talking about me, but two, Is it something that I had a good time with?
Yeah, right.
Is it something I enjoyed?
Yeah, I just
First bell should be moved back to 8:00.
Time is first bell.
What is first bell?
I think it's 7:45 now. If
Oh.
am I
I
wrong?
mean, 15 minutes. Come
Man, get up and drink your
Well,
coffee.
it's so
Come
you
on,
got,
Travis.
so you've got to spend so many minutes of instructional time. There's a reason for why they're doing it that way. But like I said,
So what time do the kids have to be at school?
before that bell ring, or by the time the second bell rings, and they've changed it again since I've been there, so I'm not sure exactly when it is. I think
Our bell didn't ring
I think
one
it's
day.
it may be a 7:40 bell for a 7:45 start. I want to say that's right.
Our bell rang at 8.
Yeah.
And
And you had till
first-
8:05 to get in the door.
That's what I was fixing to say.
There was a few days at Monroe School the bell didn't ring because I cut
Yeah.
up there and cut the wire.
Yeah.
Okay, don't be putting.
I mean, that school's been going for like 30 years
Listen.
now. I ain't, statute
Okay,
of limitations is up.
Never mind. Go ahead. And Michael, jumping back in here, bring back more vocational type classes to
Yeah.
schools. It's much needed.
Yes.
I think it's.
I think it's
we,
huge.
if we could just separate ourselves from other schools, people want to come here. That's the schools have become a business. You see billboards all over the place as you Quitman and Guy and Clinton and everybody's got billboards of come to our school because. And now you're having to even fight against the voucher stuff for homeschooling, where they'll pay. I don't know. I can't remember how much it is, but I think it's $3,000 or $4,000 to homeschool your kid at home. And there's a lot of people. Yeah, I think they put up. It was like
I would get paid
$150 million
When you
was
look at
gave
the
out
stats,
and- yeah.
homeschoolers are
Yeah.
Doing better.
Emery's been homeschooled since she was 2, almost 3. We started homeschooling her because we just wanted her to be ahead, you know. And but they're paying people to keep their kids at home, and a lot of people like that because of what is going on in schools. And
Well,
so I would love to get homeschool kids back into public education, but they want to know that their kids are not going to be bullied, and they want education.
I think that's kind of multifaceted. Is not only what's going on with public schools, but so many parents are able to make a living sitting at home at their desk now that I'll just have my kids sit beside me, do their work,
and I think that that's good to a certain point, but then you have kids that need that social time. Mm-hmm. So they don't have it with a phone, and
right.
I think they.
But that goes back to what we were talking about going
I'm
to the
curious
city
to know
park and having a
how
good time.
the no cell phones at school's been going. I haven't heard anything about it. I think it's a great idea that can actually get communication back between kids.
I
love the idea.
I thought I'd heard something about that a year or so
And
ago that they were shutting
Yes.
the
So there again, don't know about here.
Right.
Sadly, because we don't have kids
Yeah.
there, we're so disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
But like nieces,
Yeah.
oh yes, phone is on lockdown. As soon as you step on school property and inside that building,
Yep.
it gets put up,
Yep.
and you don't get it back until you're fixing to walk out the building.
Right.
I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
my personal
But I
opinion.
mean, the flip side of that is, they don't even get books anymore, do they? Everything's done on a laptop or
sometimes you
tablet,
do,
isn't it?
sometimes you don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's ways to teach that way. I always did better with physical book. You know?
That was me. I mean, even because I spent a lot of time in the parts business in my life. I've done a lot of different things in my life.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
the computer.
I've literally done everything.
I didn't like looking up parts on the computer. The computer was just stupid to me.
Yeah. I tell you, and what's bad is I just get doing the same thing over and over again. I get bored with,
Absolutely.
and so I want to move on. I want to move on and keep growing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time, and so but I can't also just do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So.
Right. Yes, he knows.
I sure do.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good comments
Yeah.
that I would recommend you going back and reading.
I'll definitely do that.
I was just trying to skim through them and make sure we were hitting the questions.
Yes.
Until Jason popped in there with that.
Yeah. Now,
and I
like
had
I
to read
said,
his comment.
So I'll tell you, the vision that I see is that there is a lot of land behind the school that goes back. that we could start small, clear it off, start cleaning it up, go backwards with the school, and you have so much area to work with back there. If not, we try to figure out how to buy it from whoever else is behind us, and you make it to be a place where people want to bring their kids. And that goes back to the investment of, like the FFA building. You could have done something that nobody else does. You don't have to go put yourself in a box with what Quitman or Clinton or somebody else is doing. You have so much opportunity, and we didn't think about it. We thought that, there's only 5 kids that want to do it, so we're just going to barely make an investment, and then we'll think about growth after that. I don't know that that's what's happened. I don't know if they have a plan. I've never seen the school plan. I don't know. But I know that there was such a good opportunity to do something different there, because that's one thing that people don't think of is there's a lot of people right now making money off cattle in this area. That it's going to come a time where there's nobody going to do it, and that could be something that they could have learned here.
Right.
You could start pre-veterinary classes here. Work with Line College, and
that's what I was saying. That's what I was getting at earlier. By the time they get to high school,
kids
you kind of have an
opportunity
idea
now that they've never had before. Is you can graduate as a junior at this school, but you could also start. You could have a 2-year degree almost by the time you leave. It's like there's so many things that you could do, but you can't just wait on somebody else to say, "Oh, this is what somebody else is doing." We need to be somebody else. We had I know. I went back to kind of what I put out a statement that said I'd like to see the school just become humble again. It's like we're not better than anybody else. We don't want to. We want to have a good education with good moral people leading our kids, and we don't have to go and tell everybody how good we are about it. But we want to prove that we are by what we do,
right.
Not by posting our test scores or whatever. We want to have great education. We want to have opportunity for kids, because it's like you said. I wish that I would have went. I would have probably not gone to college for teaching if there was some opportunity like that for me here to do like HVAC and plumbing. I think I really wish that I would have went and tried to figure out how to do that, because you could write your ticket for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And they make more money than just about everybody that went to college. I know a lot of college people that don't do a whole lot with what they got their degree in.
They just have a monthly bill.
Yeah. So,
but the flip side of doing all, even if you did invest in those things and had those things, you're still going to, I would assume you're probably still going to run into the same kind of situation as you do with teachers.
Yeah. So that goes back to the community involvement.
And I think, if we'd done it before we lost what we have, I honestly think there's people in the community that would donate their time. Almost practically donate their time.
So there's so many things you can unpack into that. Is that I think so. This goes back to the reactive thing. Something happened a couple years ago. They're like, oh, what do y'all think that they sent out questionnaires to everybody? It's like, what do y'all think we ought to be doing at the school? It's like something happened. I can't remember what it was, but that come up and it got brought up a lot about child care for the community. The school is kind of the best place to do that. But also, like I said, I talked to a different
daycare kind of childcare.
I talked to a different superintendent, and they said it's a huge money hole. There is some funding, but charging people to watch their kids is hard. You got to pay people, but and
then you have to have so many people per so many kids.
But if you can do it, then you get kids at the school instead of having to go, say they're having to move back to live with their parents because they can't afford to keep their kids here because there's no childcare. So we create a pipeline for kids to come to school here. I think one of the biggest issues that we face as a community is we just do not have any like long-term housing rentals. So like if people wanted to come here and rent a place, it's not that easy. There's no like lower middle income housing. And y'all know that from doing it, you know. I think that's something that is really needed here if we wanted to grow. So but a lot of people want it to be just like it is now, which is, I don't want it to change a lot. I would love to see I would love to see everybody else love the community the way we love it and not want to change it. But as we grow, that change, you know, I'd love to see us come into the 90s, you know, like even, you know, just grow a little bit that way. Just, but that's a whole different topic. But anyway.
Yeah, because I've seen other places. I don't want other places.
Right. No, yeah. We're blessed with where we're at. And we don't.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. I just don't know. I know that a lot of the people that I went to school with are having kids come
and to be
start
fair, I
school
think
right now.
people like you that grew up here your whole life take this place for granted.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I drive to work every day and just look and see. A lot of us drive places to see what we already have. They'll go to Gatlinburg, to the Smoky Mountains, and drive through there and be like, oh man. And then you wake up and you look out across the lake going up Edgemont, and you're like, man, this place is beautiful. It's like you just, and it's safe, you know, and you take it for granted.
Yeah.
Yep.
I truly do think that people that born and raised here I really do think that.
Okay. What about a grant for basically early Head Start program or for daycare?
Yeah, I know that they do it, and that's just something that needs to be looked into. I know one of the ladies who does the Head Start program in Clinton, so I'm sure I could get all the information I wanted on. I just don't know. I just don't know where to start with it. You know,
this is so. Someone else question said, what about having childcare for at least employees? That would be an incentive to keep the teachers and staff working at the school.
Yeah. So you think about it, we already have a pre-K. So you're already talking
at the school?
Yeah. So you're already talking like, I don't think they let 3-year-olds in. I know that, you know, so I know they do 4-year-olds, but they're full. You know, it's a full program, and so you would have you know, newborns, 1 and 2-year-olds that you'd have to watch really, because the rest of it you've got a built-in daycare program in your entire school. You know, it could even be something
teaching.
It could be even something. Yeah, it could be even something that you grow in the summertime where you pay people to come back and watch their kids and do, you know, do things with them. There's so many opportunities that we could do it's almost year-round school, but it's different. You know, it's in the summertime, you have people alternate time and come up and watch kids and it would help parents. Because especially now it almost always takes 2 people to make it. You know, it takes both parents, and nobody can afford to pay daycare. By the time you pay somebody, all your money's gone that you made. You know, especially with here, if we were all able to make $30, $40 an hour in this area, then we could afford to pay somebody childcare. But that's not here.
That's not here. Yeah. Yep.
That's all I got right now.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My Facebook page. You can message me.
Keep going on the
thread.
And he's going to go back when he gets home and read up on.
I'll try to comment on everything that I can, and like I said, I don't have the answer to every question, but I'm wanting to find out. Yeah. You know, I think that's the biggest thing is
you're not scared to ask. Questions.
and I just want to be more open with the community, because this is the community school. And I'm not saying that they're not. I just think it could be done better. I think people want to know, like, all right, what's really going on? You know, because I think there's some big issues that I'm aware of that people aren't aware of that I don't want to say because I may be wrong. But there's some big issues going on that need to be addressed, and nobody knows about it. And so,
well, and I mean, that's honestly and truthfully, that's that's kind of true for this whole county. I mean, there's a lot
There's
of things
no telling what could happen if
that goes on
the
that we don't know
community
about.
worked together on whatever issues the school faces.
As
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Not a group over here,
Yeah.
not a group over
But to be
here.
fair on that part, is that's probably never going to happen. You're always going to have
Well,
those,
it's
those-
in any
Yeah.
industry that you're in.
No, I know.
There unfortunately
But
are.
I mean, there has to be a limitation to what. There is a line at some point that you have to trust the people you elect
Right.
to do what you elected them to do.
And that's what I want to be. It's
And-
just somebody that.
Well, that's what
I'll tell
Tracy
you- I'll
just
tell
said.
you what I can tell you.
Transparency is key.
I'll tell you what I can tell you, and there's only a handful of things that I'm aware of that a school board member can't tell you. You know, it's mainly to do with employees. And
But also on the
personnel.
other side of that,
Yeah.
as taxpayers, as parents, as
Yeah.
whatever on the outside of the
Which-
school and school board, there needs to be a line.
There's 500 and something
That-
kids in the school, and we cannot control 500 problems. And that's I think that's one thing. And it's like I said, I don't think anybody's done a bad job. I just think that I just want a different perspective of what I'm seeing, and see if I'm definitely not perfect, and I don't know everything, but maybe I know somebody to ask, and if we could figure out how to make the school better. And help the teachers. And that just goes back to that is I think you have to do a better job helping your educators, because it will filter down to being a better educator for your kids. And that's what we want,
Fair enough.
Yeah. Thank
Well,
y'all
man.
again for having me. Yeah. This was fun.
Appreciate it.
Look
It
forward
was
to
fun.
next week. We're going to tone it down and talk about the
We're
restaurants.
going to make
talk
it
about
a little
food.
less serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
I get a little more serious. about
Nobody's
my
talking
food.
about you, Betty White.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, right. Give me a Snickers.
Yeah. But again, thank you for reaching out. I did really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But before we go off, I do want to throw out there anybody that watched last week's show.
Which was the call. We had it early. It wasn't at a regular time.
The call in Cleburne County. Just want to let everybody know, still selling tickets. We'll still be selling tickets until January 31st at,
What are the
say, 8.
what?
Hang on. Hold your panties.
Okay.
We'll continue to sell tickets all the way up until about 8:45 on the 31st. That's 8:45 p.m. At 9 p.m. on the 31st, we will be going live to announce the winner of the raffle for the Gulf Shores condo. It's a 3-night stay.
Now the
at-
going live will probably just be on Facebook, because on the phone we can only do one.
Yeah, we can only do one.
channel.
So
I think,
only
I don't know,
Facebook.
we'll play with that. We might be able to go live on 3.
Only Facebook.
Only Facebook.
So
It's just going to be Facebook. I
and
keep
it will
telling you.
be on our page, GF Lake Media, but it will also be on the Cleburne County Board of Realtors page. So we'll be live in 2 places.
2 places.
Yes.
That's one more than one.
So 1 ticket for $5, 5 for $20, and all proceeds go to the call in Cleburne County.
Because somebody was gracious enough to donate that little
Yes.
condo package.
And because I don't have it right in front of me, so sorry, I can't remember their names. I'm terrible. Yeah. So if you still want to buy, yes, Jason, it is past David's bedtime. Yeah.
Can you tell are my eyes getting droopy? They getting droopy. I ain't even had my 7:30 coffee yet. Cody wouldn't quit talking.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Listen, I'm the
think it
one
went well.
over here
Yeah.
going, hey, you two.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know.
it
happens.
This
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So
I was really worried about babbling. I don't know if you noticed.
and
I was
that's
trying to
just what you
help.
do.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for having me, and I appreciate everybody's support that came out to watch. I'm glad that you're involved in what's going on in the community and want to know what I'm thinking, and I think the majority of you that know me know my heart for kids and my character, and I think you know that I'll do the best job I can for you. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you for coming and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, because I mean that's a big deal. I mean,
questions, and there's a meet and greet in there.
Yes, I don't even remember the date. It's sometime in February, late February.
Hey, Scott.
Maybe
Scott was
20 something.
He was on here watching earlier.
Kind of meet and greet.
For the ones running for school board.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I was invited
Because
to a
it's
meet and greet.
Cody and Scott and somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Do you know how many
Jeffries, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so, like, y'all
so it's
put
gonna
me
be
on the
how
spot
many?
with names.
So it's gonna be how many people?
It's going to be all the bingo people. So, you know, half the town will be there. They have such a good crowd for bingo now.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's where it's going to be.
Yes,
It's going to be a bingo.
Yeah, I think it starts at 4 to 6. I think is what it's going to do, and have people come by that want to ask questions. And but yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
That's awesome. The 21st.
I was
4
close.
to
I said the
6.
23rd, so I was close.
Okay.
Oh, of next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
Not yesterday.
So you missed it, bud.
Yeah.
Today's the 22nd.
I was going to say.
Yeah. You were,
Things are so crazy at work. I don't even know what like month it is.
That's what we. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, people are like, it's Saturday, and I'm like,
What does that mean?
every day's Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day is Monday.
When I ask people what day it is, they try to give me the date, and I'm like, no, the literal day of the week.
What, is it Monday,
It's like
Tuesday? What?
It all blends together.
I don't know any of it. What day it is? What the date is? Nothing. Until I have to, even if I write it 1,000 times.
Emily has to keep me on track. So
He tries.
Sweet lady.
It does not work for me.
Depends on the subject. She keeps me in line on something. I keep her on track on something. Which,
We balance.
It works
each
out.
other.
that's
Yeah.
that's us.
Yeah. But,
All righty.
well, man, we appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank y'all.
Thank you. Hey, same time next
Same
week.
time next week. Yeah.
And thank all of y'all. We will
Thanks,
see y'all
y'all.
next
Have a good
Thursday.
night.
We're going to talk about noodles or something. I don't know.
Hey, no judging on the noodles.
Noodles.